First off, Paul, just tell us a bit about what you think makes your particular technology so special.
Well, first of all, the challenge is providing enablers for large-scale introduction of renewable energy. So that's the main challenge. And so in this context, when you want to combine renewable energy with, let's say, conventional energy, to make a good fit, you need storage, and particularly as the percentage of renewable energy is increasing, let's say, to 20, 30, 40% of the total energy mix. It's very important to have storage to be able to deliver power when people need it. So a disadvantage by renewable energy is that it doesn't deliver when the sun is down or the wind is not blowing. So you have to be able to shift power delivery to when people need it, and have to make renewable energy more reliable.
And give us a sense about what the special features of Nest's technology are.
Well, I think I can't go into every aspect of it, but there are some keywords like versatility. We can combine it with different type of energy sources, so we can receive the energy to the storage in various forms like heated oil, hot water, steam, molten salt, or a gas, and even electricity. So that's one thing. Second, this type of storage can be built almost anywhere. It's directly connected with the energy production. It can be connected with the industrial plant, in the city, or isolated islands. Moreover, we have high efficiency in the storage cycle, so there's very, very little energy loss in the storage itself, which is very important. And we use no rare earth materials, no toxic materials. It's the kind of concrete that is the solid state storage, so that is easily available. Moreover, and that is really the key thing, it's scalable. That means you can use it for, let's say, moderately to small size storages, let's say megawatt hour or even less, up to thousands of megawatt hours or gigawatt hours. So it's really a storage also for grid scale energy storage.
And I guess one of the big technologies at the moment which people are trying to scale up is wind power, offshore winds in particular. Give us a sense about how your technology could operate with offshore wind, because I guess one of the key issues is that it's erratic, the power isn't there all the time, but if you could find a way of storing all of the energy from that, then you might be able to really be able to scale up that form of energy.
Yes, that's perfectly right. With wind energy, there's a certain lack of reliability, of course. So if the wind blows too hard or it's too slow, then there's no energy delivery. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, typically from these, particularly the offshore wind power plants, there may be a surplus energy too. They actually drop a lot of energy because it's not consistent with the needs. So in our case, we can use the electricity from the wind power to heat oil, for instance, and get that heat into the storage, and then we can take it out again when we need it, and then produce electricity via a steam cycle. So, of course, there is energy loss because of the thermodynamics. With modern technology, you'll get about 40% back. But if the input is more or less free energy, surplus, and you can provide greater reliability and bridge time spans when there is no wind, and also shift energy from, let's say, nighttime to daytime. There's great value of having storage.
Give me a sense about some of the main challenges that you face in terms of scaling this up. I mean, can you give us a sense about cost and also the area needed to install your technology?
Well, I would say the cost is decreasing somewhat with size, but everything is repetitive. So, and also building a larger storage has some advantages when it comes to insulation and so on. And if you talk about footprint, if, let's say, there's a 1,000 megawatt hour storage, the footprint would be that of a moderately large building, let's say 40 by 60 meters or something like that. So it's very easy to fit in almost anywhere.
And what levels of interest have you got from different parts of the world? Is this something that you think will be a predominantly developed world technology, or is there potential to roll it out in sort of poorer regions of the planet?
Well, we started Nest only 3 years ago, so we are still in the technology phase. We have been testing, and we are now, this coming year, building 3 pilots. And these 3 pilots are all of a different type. One is a concentrated solar plant, a research facility. One is a combination of biofuel and solar energy, which is also interesting. And the third one is a so-called linear Fresnel system, solar power, where the heat transfer fluid is pressurized water. So during next year, we'll be able to demonstrate this, let's say, to the world, and thereafter we are certainly ready to build this according to needs. We have great partners that we are discussing with that will actually do the construction of such storages.
And I guess the final question, given that this is all related back to climate change, I guess if there was no climate change and we wouldn't need to explore new technologies, we could just burn coal till the coal ran out. But in terms of the CO2 impacts and in terms of how you could perhaps reduce the carbon dioxide releases from forms of energy, how can your technology help with that?
Well, as I said, certainly as an enabler for renewable energy on a very large scale. But let me also add that this has value in connection with, let's say, traditional thermal power, be it coal-fired or nuclear. The fact that you can shift energy from nighttime to daytime, evening, when people need power, that's a great value. And in one way, if you look at traditional power too, with all the coal-fired plants having, let's say, been scaled up to the maximum needs in order to avoid blackouts, we might be able to phase out also old, more polluting coal-fired plants and rather, let's say, run the more efficient new technology ones 24/7 on full power and do this time shifting of power. So that's another benefit, if we could get rid of some of the really polluting coal-fired plants.